Let there be peace and love. Welcome to Satsang. Everybody in his life knows as moments of being alone with himself. Everybody. But it is not appreciated. It is not, the value is not given to it. So you need a split second of taking the risk not to make effort to grasp something. After being alone with yourself, and the trust that it is not by making effort, the trust that the self will reveal itself. Otherwise, I repeat, everybody knows what it is. But the emphasis has been given to what the mind speaks, so it is totally unseen. And when I say seen, it's not through the senses, of course. So it may take time, sometimes, to trust totally that you are it. You are always it. That may take some time. And why? Because there is this, we have given trust to so many things that the mind suggests, presents, to so many beliefs, instead of realizing that what you search deeply, which is, you can call it peace or love or joy, is always with you, is always there. And it is such a habit to follow the sensations and the mind that one even thinks it doesn't make effort for it. So just hear that, open-hearted, and if there is any argument, you just expose it, so that you understand what makes you believe you are not realized. Oh, oh, oh. No. Yeah? You take a risk. Yes.
The arrogant wants to come, but it is seen.
Mm-hmm. Then is there any problem?
So it's not sometimes I'm myself and sometimes I'm not myself. It is just
You see the movements.
yes,
You're
yes,
aware of that movement.
yes.
And so who are you? Tell something.
Where all these movements appears and disappears.
Mm-hmm. That's what you are.
And I don't know if I remember well. I heard once what you said, that you would keep only one duality, which is with master.
Mm.
That's the only connection, which is not a connection. So it's for me it's always at master, your feet.
Mm.
So
So don't remember, it's better.
okay.
Because if you can forget, you will be in trouble.
Yeah.
Don't remember.
Yeah.
You just speak from what is here now. Don't speak from memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which relation you have just now? Which one?
No relation.
So keep quiet here. And as it doesn't look specially anything special, you don't need to remember how it has to look. You're freed from that.
question what makes one believe not to be realized. At least that's what
Yeah.
I still think I should experience. It's the experience of joy, of love.
Yeah, but you will experience that when you don't believe you have to experience that. But hear well. The moment you give up because you know it cannot be an experience, you see, maybe you will be surprised. Not a single experience will do. I mean, to believe in a single experience will do. And also it's because it will never be as one thinks. And you have an idea of joy, of course, it's when your heart is open and you laugh and whatnot, and you have these sensations and all that you already know. It's never how you think. So, yeah. So, when this belief will reappear, what you will do?
Drop it.
Drop,
Listen to it.
drop it, keep quiet. Drop it, keep quiet. That gives tremendous joy, not to be tyrannized or so-called bound by a concept. We know each other already?
We met about 10 years ago.
Oh.
I came for one day with Radha
Ah, yes.
to take her to Holland.
But you have not aged, no? Since 10 years. Really, really. In reality, have you aged? think there is a few new ones, new faces. So, if you like, if you have any remaining question or a starting question, please. You came, so be relieved from it, or try to be relieved from it. Yes, please.
Yes, I can sense a concept, very subtle sometimes, but a tension inside. Like
Yeah.
the moment should be different, or it should be different when it is. Very subtle. And there's the belief, very often, as long as this is there, you can't, whatever, this shouldn't be there. So there's this little friction going on.
Yeah. No, the friction is as long as you think it should not be there.
Yes, yes. So I try to invite that friction.
No, don't invite anything. No. No invitation here. There is no guest because there is nobody here. No, that is not right direction. Just see, it should not be there is a thought.
Yes.
You may not transform it, who cares? That thought is there. But who are you? Who is the one who sees that? You keep quiet there.
Yes.
There is nothing to accept, nothing to reject. It's just a matter of not confusing yourself with what is there. So don't confuse yourself. What is there according to circumstances, according to past which passes by and so on. But you are exactly not your past. You are not this body-mind in reality. So to let the self, the reality of your nature, speak to you, be obvious. Look whatever happens if you like, but you are the seer. Don't confuse yourself for what you see. So there is no effort to do of rejecting or accepting. That is psychology. Don't touch psychology here. Otherwise you enter into the movement of the mind, you feed the mind again, you will never go out of it. Out of the belief, I am the mind. So you are always yourself. Whatever appears, it is the self which appears this way. So you have not to try to transform it. The person may like it or not, but be aware that the person doesn't like it. Okay, let it pass, you see. And then you see that you are, something is always there, and that's who you are. Where are you now?
It feels to be the observer, actually, because it feels like a parallel thing happening.
So you are the observer, yeah?
I can
Okay,
see this.
now you see you are the observer.
Yeah.
So who sees that? Ah. That direction.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you go into that direction when you don't try to accept or reject. You don't do anything. Keep quiet there. Even if it is very short, who cares? Keep quiet there. Know that this is the perfect direction to allow the self to reveal itself. Happy?
Very.
You see, it's not always laughing. You?
Me?
Huh? What you would say?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's good. Nothing to say. Yeah, I wonder what to say. So if someone is here wanting to hear something about all this search about that subject, please ask me, because maybe today, I don't know, I'm not so talkative, but you can make me if you like. Because some I see, a few are not coming often, and maybe they want to hear something. By myself, I don't tell so much. So, and I'm not a storyteller, so you are not very lucky in that way. But if you ask me, maybe I can reply to it. Yes, please.
Already for a very long time, I have a strong tendency, if I start meditating,
Yeah.
and that is that I'm aware that something is looking for it very strongly.
For what?
Yeah, for this, or
Okay.
and like when I become aware of it, there's this natural reaction to condemn it or to even run away from it again. To keep running away from the thought or from this movement. And I'm aware that I'm also then in the mind, like fighting the mind with the mind.
Yeah.
But I find it very difficult to drop it.
But have you understood well, very clearly, that it will not be through the mind that you will liberate yourself, means you will realize, you will have this self-realization. It will not be through the mind. You are clear about that?
Yeah.
And it will not be through the body. You are clear about that?
That one I find difficult
To think that the body will not help you? It helps in the sense that you need a human body, a human body-mind, to have that thought of self-realization. It looks like. But it is to help you to hear you are not the body and you are not the mind. But you see, you are in a difficult position because you put yourself in a meditator place. And then what to do with this meditator? Huh? Isn't it? And even you have difficulty with the meditator because the meditator wants to go where? Where you want to go?
It wants to achieve.
He wants to achieve the concept of liberation.
Yeah.
It starts to be interesting. So it's a concept you have of liberation, which it's good to have it, because at least you are not busy all the time with other thoughts, with other concepts. Yeah? In that way. But still, if you are stuck to be a meditator trying to achieve liberation, it's all fake. All fake. So, you are already this. You are already yourself. You don't need to realize it to make yourself a meditator and have the loop to go back there. So, in fact, when this habit or this identification or this experience of meditator comes to you, a good meditator or a bad meditator, doesn't matter about that. When that thought of I'm a meditator now comes to you, you see it. It's your thought, no? It's a thought of yourself. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I can experience, I'm able to experience that now and then, but so when I listen now to you, there's this movement from thought that goes kind of through my heart, trying to be something.
No, if
trying
you,
not to be something. I'm aware, like, oh shit, I'm trying to listen to you now.
Yeah.
I'm making an effort. I'm not being myself. And then
no, you are not being the one you think you are,
Yeah.
the one you somehow you want to keep, because you are maybe fearful to risk to be yourself, which you already are. It's too late. So in fact, take the risk not to follow the loop, follow a thought. Just a sec. You have not to make it a new kind of meditation. Just sometimes you steal a second to just remain aware. You don't need to go with the movements. And that will work. That, you see, creates all this universe. It has enough power to work by itself. It doesn't need you. In the contrary, if you make yourself something, you boycott. Not that you are so powerful, but the illusion is that you boycott it. So, too much talk. Where are you now? Now, just now. Don't go back to whatever you know. What is here now? Tell me.
I feel dragged into the moment, into this, and there's still I'm aware of that my mind wants to like understand it or comment.
Yeah, that is the whole habit of a seeker. Because that seeker thought, it will be through the most subtle, most luminous mind that you realize. But you told me you know very well that it will not be through the mind, nor through the body. Body is so gross, how can it be? Senses, you get senses pains or sensual pain or sensual pleasures. It doesn't go further than that. Mind at least has many, many levels of subtleties. It's not even through the mind.
It just, every time it just gets very confusing. Like when you just asked me this question, I felt very spacious and the mind appears somewhere here.
But why do you listen if you know that the mind will never bring you there? You should not listen. Let it have its loop if it is an acrobat. But don't listen. For once, don't listen to the mind. He will never tell you the truth, the mind. It speaks only about the world or the states or experiences. That's all. Tell me, it's important.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense anything I'm gonna ask you then.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah, doesn't make sense to ask anything because you are already it. But if you if you still believe that it will make sense in your mind, you are caught in the mind.
It's true, and I think that the moment that I just get very anxious is when it feels so intimate, like when I listen to you and I feel it's me that actually...
Yeah, that I'm disnuding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think, shit.
You will be more happy, my dear. C'est un mauvais moment à passer. Je ne sais pas comment on dit ça en anglais. Yeah, it's the most intimate. It's more intimate than your own retina.
That I'm...
Your own retina. Retina? In your language, what is retina? Nobody knows retina? The context is intimacy. It is more intimate than what is very intimate. Nobody can touch your retina, isn't it? And it is still physical. Imagine how intimate it is, what I'm touching. But it's too late, as I say. It's done.
Ganga,
Yeah, Gabi?
I feel quite clear now. What you say, it's clear, and I feel home, and it's beautiful. But still some fear is in the background that I fall from this heaven, and I always look for the perfect question, what I should put to reject this fear, but I can find.
But are you aware that you are playing with ideas or thoughts? No. Are you aware of that?
Maybe not.
Now you are aware of it, no? If I tell you.
Yes.
Okay. So you are quite clear, but not 100%. Very good, you came. You see, it is so full that it cannot take a compromise. What you are, it's so complete in itself. You cannot compromise even one thought with the mind. To follow one thought of the mind.
Like fear.
Like fear? Then what is fear? You can call it in many different ways, but it's a movement. It's a creation.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with creation. What looks like wrong is when one owns the fear and then he suffers. And because of that suffering, he will search again. And that loop is endless there. So one has really to place himself where he's always. Not in the changing appearance. It would help you, Gabi, not to say you are in heaven, because from heaven you fall. You don't name it. I know that it's a way to speak, but yet you see, you take too much risk. It's too early to take so much risk. You use words when there is no more risk. T'es revenu? T'es revenu avec quelque chose ou sans quelque chose?
I wish I could
Did
say without.
you come back and said yes?
It's
Yeah.
clearer and clearer every time
Okay.
that I just feel I'm really growing into, really ready to drop it.
So do it.
Yes, I swear, like every morning, okay, this is it. I don't want to force it because I know that if I force it, it's just that I'm not ready.
But anyway, you are it, huh? So
No,
nothing to force.
Force the dropping of
Yeah.
which is the hope.
You drop the hope.
Yes. Yeah. It seems at least.
Are
now
you
it's-
disturbed or not?
Sorry?
If you drop hope, are you disturbed? Désespéré? Pas despair?
No.
So, you don't place yourself in the mind.
Is it a question?
Yes.
You're asking me if I don't place myself in mind.
If you drop hope,
Yes.
normally somebody who drops hope, where does he go? He's unhappy, he's cynical, he's desperate. Desperate. But if it is not so, where are you then?
I feel a bit shy to say this, but I feel this is it. I really feel hope is the last obstacle.
Great. Then what did you bring then? Why this doubt that there is still something?
I don't know if it's even doubt. I think it's because I'm not quite ready yet.
This is a doubt. This is a concept you have. Nobody is ready because you are already it. I hope I don't go to mental hospital with this language.
It's so clear that it's not
So
about
don't listen
it.
to your mind. So don't listen to your mind.
Actually, right now, as we speak, and for the past few weeks, it doesn't even feel it's my hope. It doesn't. There's no my hope. I just feel it's something still there and slowly losing force. And
Can you be? You are so attached to it that you have to keep it. Can you just give that up? Who cares if it is your hope or something floating in the air? Which can you?
at the moment, it feels it's.
They feel maybe with you something floating. Quite a floating cloud suddenly. I didn't know. Okay.
The feeling I have now is that this attachment,
Yeah.
is not breaking my. It's like thinning away, layers after layers. So
That's a big hope. Then you keep your hope. You see, it's exactly what Wineng said, very great Chan master. He had a student, they were all students of Wang Po, I think. And all the students, listen to me, all the students were polishing the tiles because they believed the tile has to be perfectly shining. And so that's what they report to their master, who asked them to come one by one if they understood, to see if they understood. And Wee Nang said, why to do those layers so that there is no tile at all?
I see that it's been hard for me to accept every expression of the self as an expression of the self.
Yes.
And it's like a part of me thinks it's like everything that's cruel or wrong or bad is the mind, and everything that's not that is the self. And I'm now seeing that's a problem.
It is a problem, yes.
I don't want to believe that.
But it's great you see that. It's great. Otherwise, you see, we will create a religious belief that there is something like heaven and hell. And we have to be freed from that. And anyway, I tell you, to tell that everything which is expressed in this universe, everything, so it means duality, is already the self is not understandable through the mind. It's true. So you have not to try with all your efforts so that your mind accepts that. It can't. You have to leave your mind now. The mind can never take it. So be freed from is power on you. Great, great. That's why you see in this world, in this expression of the self, in this manifestation, there is no right attitude. There is always a right attitude and a wrong. But I mean, there is so to approach to the self, to have a practice, there is no right attitude. Because the attitude is, you are already yourself, is not to place yourself in the mind, which cannot be else than right and wrong, and it will remain like that. And when you react to circumstances, it is the mind with its value of right and wrong, different for every culture and every person, which will react. And you will never make out who is free, because the body-mind will react according to circumstances, according to his own story. But it's a matter of not placing yourself in the mind, in time. Who you really are is already there, from ever, forever. And that has to be seen, realized. I don't know how to say it. So it doesn't change an inch of what is already the expression of the self. And yet, you see what to explain. In the beginning, the mountain is a mountain. And then, in the journey, the mountain is no more a mountain. Because you question everything. And in the end, the mountain is a mountain. And yet, it's the third time. It's not the first. Unexplainable. But that's why the trust is absolutely necessary. Because where do we go otherwise, you see? The direction of those wise men is perfect. You have to trust, not to take sideways. Yeah. Otherwise it will be in the mind. Very good you bring that. It's very important because there are some foolish so-called spiritual people who would accept what is unacceptable for the body-mind in the name of equanimity or all is the same, all is the self. Unacceptable. You see, one has to know where he speaks and what is what. That is the beauty, that is the freedom.
I'm a bit shy to speak because I think it will always. I think my mind tries to be clever.
Yes, let us see. Let us see. Doesn't
But
matter.
I think my question is how to make this shift. It seems such a habit to identify.
Come
with
to
it.
satsang.
Yeah.
Come to satsang. Love what is indicated. And then make it more than just an hour of satsang or 6 hours of satsang. Try to be invaded by this attraction you have to hear. I am that. I'm not this mind, you see. That helps tremendously. Yeah. You do that?
On and off. I have done it for a long time, then I have not done it for a
Yeah,
while.
but
and
you
now
see the result.
Mm.
The result is too. You see, one leaves satsang too early. Come back, come back, no problem. Yeah, you have to be helped this way.
when we are the self, you're saying everybody is always the self.
I am.
It must be the same self in the end for everybody, but somehow realized inside.
There is no more inside, with the self.
Yes, okay.
What is your question?
It's difficult to say that.
Yeah, try. There is one self.
Yes,
Okay.
so it's the same self for everybody. It's
Yes.
the self.
And that's possible only if you don't speak of what appears, isn't
Yes.
it? What appears
Yes.
is a variety, extraordinary variety, infinite.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
So we speak of something which doesn't appear.
but then we cannot not be it because this is it. So everybody must be the self.
Yeah, sure. That's the first thing which is said in satsang. Yes. Everybody is the same.
So only when we go back to everything personal concept, we are not it. Otherwise,
It
we are
looks
always-
like we believe we are not it.
Yes.
It's a belief, yeah. Exactly.
And being realized means you always are in the self. You always.
But everybody is always in the self. The difference is that one believes in his mind, so the one who still searches, and the other one doesn't believe in the reality of the mind. That's all. But it's enormous, but that's all.
And how are actions played out then from?
Oh, don't worry. First realize. First realize. This question will not arise. As long as this body-mind doesn't die, it reacts to its circumstances. That's what I say, you see.
So it's-
Don't worry about that. Worry more how to realize if you still have that surge. Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, sure.
So, to the question before, you said, come to satsang and just don't leave satsang too early. And I feel that when I immerse myself in the energy of satsang, just things happen just gracefully, by themselves. And when I try to drop this hope, it just seems to give it more strength. You understand?
No.
If I try to do, if
Yeah.
I try to make something happen, like if I try to drop this hope, for example, which is what I'm struggling with. If I say, okay, I have to drop it, then it doesn't really seem to work.
No,
It
you
seems
see,
to
no,
give it-
listen. You drop the belief it's important. It's just a thought, isn't it, or an experience. So you are aware of that. So know that you are not what you can see. You are not. So you for a split second, make yourself not concerned by it. Yeah, I saw. The kids come to satsang. So I can tell you again. So, it's not that you have to. In fact, it's not that you have to give up anything. Again, it's an effort. But know that you are yourself all the time. And this is, just recognize it's a thought. Or if you have heard enough that thoughts means the mind will never tell you the truth of your real nature, you let it pass. In that way, you are freed from it. If you just let it pass something, you are free from it. You are not what's passing anyway, or what's coming and going. So, when I say give up, I mean in this way. Otherwise, it will be someone again who gives up, but the someone is still there. Okay, and doesn't work. You are right. It's easier than what you think.
Yes. Actually, yes, it does. That's what it seems. It's just easier if I don't
Yeah.
do anything.
Yeah, sure.
I also feel the need to just speak it out.
But it's good.
It's me.
Sure.
Just because I don't know if there was a misunderstanding, but the hope is not a hope, a spiritual hope that I have. It's the hope just to raise a child. And this is the one thing that is, it seems, something that
But do it and that's it. I mean, then you don't do it and then you have no hope. It's there. I mean, you be quick. You be quick.
I wish I could just make it happen.
Don't worry. Generally, this happens without your knowing. Don't think of it. It's much easier. You block everything if you think. You don't think of it. Just do it.
It seems to be the only thing I cannot do alone.
After satsang, what's going on? And Portugal is very fertile, don't worry. Be happy with what I tell you. Yeah, you're open.
It's actually because, of course, it's easy to laugh about it. But
Yeah, sure. Especially the others who already have done those things.
But it seems that, okay, I'm really going to speak from the heart, from experience. I'm not speaking from the mind. I have this belief, at least, that if this has to happen, I have to engage in the world of duality.
But that's true.
Yes. And I don't know how to do this. And I don't know how to...
But don't ask so many questions, otherwise you never know. You see, Captain Haddock, I know it's Belgian, but you may know, no, Tintin? Once his friend said, do you sleep with the beard up the bed sheets or down? He couldn't sleep anymore. If you ask so many questions, you will be in trouble. Really. Trust them.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a question in mind. It's just from my experience of observing. I realize that.
My dear, don't think so.
Yeah, it's
Don't think so much, really.
that's actually why it's not even a desire anymore. It's more in the...
You don't think so much. Don't analyze so much now. Welcome. But you were already. So if I don't tell you anything, what you will do in satsang? Laugh.
What?
So the main, what we said the most is don't think. Don't think for a while. Because in the end, you see, you have this habit to always think or have experiences in the body, and you totally forget that it's very important also not to think. It can be a split second, it can be 2 split seconds, but it's very, very important. It's part of this life. And when you don't think, is there anybody there? So just rest there for a split second. Don't think. Close your eyes. Prasa today. Oops. Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice, huh? You have a little less.
No, I don't really know.
You don't care?
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Is there any child more? No? Oh, sorry. You are quite big. Ah, your daughter, she changed. Amazing.